Starting now.
So hey, we're gonna be talking about an application we are working on. It's called Spark. But it's about like bringing people like musicians together. It's a community. And in this presentation is Ruby, Gavin, Brianna, and myself, Jonathan. For our vision in the box statement, our app is called Spark, and it's gonna allow users to revolutionize the way they collaborate on music. With a user-friendly interface, content sharing capabilities, and a range of other features, users can effortlessly find music partners at the click of a button. Basically, we want to bring musicians from all levels. It doesn't matter the experience together, and they can collaborate, learn from each other, and try to like create a community where they can, and share with others what they like with people like that like music too.
All right, thank you, thank you. So yeah, getting into the competition and kind of a little bit of the market research that we did. First, just to recap briefly, the Spark app is an interactive platform that allows users to find sessions that align with his or her desired experiences, and then also allowing users to create their new sessions based on their own thing that they're looking for in that session. Now, we did, like I said, we did a little bit of market research and we found two other applications that are similar, but we thought that there are definitely things that could be improved, which is the whole reason for this. So we found one called Bandmix, and the differentiator is our product is convenient and it makes it easy to match and connect with other musicians by automatically generating profiles of musicians in the actual user's area that match however they fill out, what sessions they're looking for, what their profile is. And we also found another one called Jammer. Um, and that one requires a subscription. And based on our assessment, the price range was a bit outside of our target audience that we're going for. So we thought that that can be improved as well. All right. So getting into the user personas that we created, there's just three here. First, we're getting into Max. Max is passionate about music and is constantly looking for opportunities to collaborate with other musicians to expand his creativity. Max is also a busy musician and finds it challenging to meet new musicians outside of his current social circle. And his goal is essentially to connect with new, fresh people. We wanted to talk about this user persona because we wanted one that encapsulates the idea of someone that may already have musicians in their social circle, but is just looking to essentially broaden their horizons. The second one is Anna. Anna is a full time student who is wholly focused on improving her skills and has only been practicing for about 6 months or so. And she's mainly looking for beginner musicians. This whole one is to um, mainly target the users that maybe don't have the most musical experience, but are still looking for to jump into the whole jamming session space. Then lastly is Joe. Joe is an aspiring professional musician who has been playing for bass guitar for 10 years. He's also a working professional outside of the music business, but he wants to transition to play professionally. And this one is just targeting more of the professional musician type users. You can go on. Right. Then user stories. Yeah, these are what we use to kind of come up with the UI storyboards and the like. I'll just read a couple here. As a student musician, I like to be able to connect with others who desire to practice their craft in an adjustment-free, pressure-free environment so that I can work at building my skill. As a guitar player, I need a platform that helps me connect with musicians who play different instruments other than my own. This way, I can find perhaps a whole group to jam with. And this is actually a very common problem. There's so many guitar players, for example, and a guitar player doesn't want to already play in a group with five other guitar players. So this is a very common issue. And then another one is just a person that actually wants to create the sessions instead of finding them. They want to be able to set their preferences, like their genre of music that they like, the instruments, and yeah, then essentially that session will generate other people that have similar interests that can join that person session that they created.
Okay, for the entity relationships, we came up with an entity relationship diagram. as we can see, we have 4 entities: that's user, instrument, post, and session. Their relationships are basically user with instrument is just one user can have multiple instruments, and multiple users can create different sessions, and in different sessions you can have multiple users. That's why we have the mapping on the side. That's the many-to-many relationship. And on the other side, we have a weak entity. That's a post. And like a user can have multiple posts. And we can also see all the attributes have like each entity has. You can see the primary keys, foreign keys on the other respective entities. And yeah, we can see also yeah, we can have the other attributes inside other like attributes, as like in sessions you can have like location, like you have country, state, city, just to like name a few.
So for our original UI storyboard, this is what we came up with. We had the logo in the forefront with the Jam app below. We had the login page and sign up right next to each other in differing colors. For the user's sign up page, you have name, age, gender, instrument, and then on the bottom you have experience with beginner, intermediate, and professional. And then we have the same color scheme going with orange and yellow, looking for a jam session on the left hand and create a jam session on the right hand. Simple, sleek design. But we ended up not doing that to an extent. So this was what we mocked up for the phones. So this was, we had our logo, we have Spark Music Collaboration, or that's our logo scheme. We have the buttons login and sign up next to each other. We tried to differ the colors a little bit so it wouldn't be too confusing. We had Spark above in the middle picture. We have name, age, gender, instrument, beginner, intermediate, and professional, but the words were cut off and it didn't look too good. And then we just tried to do looking for session and create session, but the buttons just didn't work too well. So for the mobile user interface, we ended up doing Spark and with a dark background, white lights, lettering, because it's easier to read. And this is on the left-hand side would be what you would see when you're in an actual jam session. You would have your own profile and picture, and then you would have the other person that's bigger. Then you would have a chat window, and you can stop it at any time. And then for your user profile, you have your join date, your about, and your overview. You can write things in there. You can also put posts, and that's where you'd be able to find it in your user profile, create posts, and add new songs. So this is the desktop landing page. Keeping with the dark color scheme with the bright, nice lettering. We have the logo, and then we have Spark, Jam Partners on Demand, and then we have Partners in Creativity. We have the subheadings, home, updates, reviews, contacts, and we have the social media pages where you can cross post. So this is the login page. You would click login in the beginning, and then there's sign up also right there. You also have look for session and create session. User profile on the desktop landing this is what it would look like, very similar to the mobile page. You have the about me, you have post, and you have overview, and you have a button to create posts and edit your profile. For my account, this is our dummy account. You have your display name, you could change it. You could put your title of what like instrument you play. You also have your account information, first name, last name, email, and phone number. And then notification section. This is where you can see your drafts for any content you want to upload. And you can see your followers. We also have a place for the posts. This is what a post would look like. You can also comment on them. And this is where the comments would be. You can also like it, check your likes from the desktop landing. And there's also a contact page where you got first, last name, email, and subject. On our website app, we had a section for reviews, and this is what the reviews would look like. So a new revolutionary way to jamming in your garage right at home, the new fun way to learn music, and changed my mind about music creation. We also have the user base. We have selected users that were like user of the week. So this is one of them, brands, and it gives a little description of where he grew up, what instrument, guitar, and how inspiring he is to other people. We have an About Me page, so it's about our business, Spark, so virtual jam sessions for those on the go and musicians on the move. The ability to find a jam partner at any hour and in any language, to coordinate and meet other musicians with less time and effort by finding people with the same interests or potential bandmate at every turn, and to learn and enjoy the music and jam with anyone and anywhere. So this is what the settings page would look like. You would have your name, age, gender, instrument. You have beginner, intermediate, and professional. And we have sleep background, just a different color change so you know what settings page you're on. Um, and giving it over to Brianna.
All right, so once we created all of our user stories, personas, storyboard, and the prototype, we went through and did a validation and verification process. So the first process that we did was validation, where essentially we just compared all of the user stories that we came up with the prototype, just to make sure that the prototype did what the users needed it to do, based on the things that we specified. So for most of the user stories we have, and we've referenced them by the number that we used up above. Most of them had no validation errors. The prototype was effective and pretty easy to use and fulfill the requirements. There was one where we potentially had an error of usability, where the prototype allows users technically to express preferences and state their intentions, but this user wanted to be able to preset their preferences, where it would kind of help filter for the people that have their similar interests. And so perhaps in a future updated version of the prototype, we'll address it by adding a feature that appears after you select create a session that allow you to be able to use that as a filter and allow it to actually help with the matching process. Other than that, the only validation error that we had was an error of commission, which is basically just because the prototype contained a post like comment feature that were not specific to any of the user stories in our existing collection. So, in order to reconcile that area, essentially, we just need to, specify what users these features would be helpful toward, and or tweak them in a future or updated prototype. But in terms of validation, pretty much everything else has been validated. And then in terms of verification, what we did was we went through and we compared our original storyboard to our prototype. And like Ruby mentioned, we varied quite a bit from our original storyboard. So we did have a few verification errors off the bat. Most of them were errors of commission, just because our original storyboard was very simple, very straight to the point, very sleek. And then once we got into the process and started thinking about the features that could be added, the storyboard didn't have a lot of the features tied into it. So the first one is that the prototype includes a feature that allows the user to personalize the profile, which is not present in the storyboard. Also, prototype includes a feature that allows you to create and share posts, interact with posts with likes and comments. And then the last is that, this prototype also includes a support feature in the event that anybody has any questions or needs any help or anything with it. So all these